Brent, this site used to see hundreds per day. That is not the case. They're now inside boxing up. They're preparing to close up shop tomorrow, the same day that the pandemic emergency ends. However, the toll on frontline health workers may never dissipate. Wounds from the COVID floor at Yale New Haven Hospital still fresh.
We had patients that were like completely fine with like no comorbidities, just dying. And we had like young folks like in their 30s, 40s.
Matthew Ratto left the hospital setting for this now 3-year-old testing site in Hartford. She can hardly recall the early days without tears.
Didn't even have rooms because it was just so like, packed with people. We had to like call their families on like, the iPads.
A discarded mask remains outside the Arroyo Testing Center at Pope Park. One of the last patients tests before the site officially closes Thursday, the same day federal and state COVID-19 emergencies expire.
Today we had like 2 positive COVID tests.
A stark drop from averaging 200 patients a day in 2020.
Tomorrow would be the last day of testing. Everyone's kind of coming back in.
12,338 people have died from COVID-19 in Connecticut. More than 2.8 million Connecticut residents received the now expired initial 2-dose vaccine series. COVID emergencies allowed the state to establish testing, vaccine, and test distribution programs.
During those first 3 or 4 months, we had the highest, or one of the 3 highest fatalities per capita in the country. You stretch that out over the last, 2 years, we're about average.
But what happens when emergency declarations end, but the virus is still around? It means state-supported test sites will close June 30th, and the state will no longer cover the costs of tests, vaccines, or treatment. That all transitions to traditional health coverage.
I hope it's a seasonal virus so that we can deal with it the way we deal with other respiratory viruses, roughly between October and April every year. But we will need to be prepared for the unexpected.
Nearly 833,000 Connecticut residents have received the latest COVID booster. Officials do recommend if you're sick, stay home and get boosted. In Hartford, Samaya Hernandez, Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.